In the warm, sunlit shallows of the tropics, buried beneath a thin layer of sand and hidden inside a crack in the coral, there is a creature so violent, so impossibly engineered, that it breaks the laws of physics every single time it strikes. The mantis shrimp, a being that has prowled the ocean floor for over 400 million years. This is no ordinary shrimp. It is a living weapon. A fist-sized predator that punches with the force of a bullet, moves faster than your eyes can track, and sees colors that don't even exist in the human world. It is a creature so absurdly overpowered that if you designed it in a video game, people would call it unrealistic. And yet, here it is, thriving in every tropical ocean on Earth. Some species shatter the shells of crabs and clams with a single devastating blow. Others spearfish with barbed appendages that strike faster than a rattlesnake. Some are painted in electric greens and neon reds, advertising their power to anything foolish enough to come close. Meanwhile, certain species burrow deep into the seafloor and construct elaborate tunnel systems, defending their territory with a ferocity that puts creatures 10 times their size to shame. Nothing about this animal follows the rules, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why. Welcome to Science Discovery. Before we dive in, if stories like these matter to you, the best way to keep discovering is simple. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share this with someone who needs to see what nature is really capable of. Now, let's talk about how this creature destroys things. Because the mantis shrimp's ability to kill is not just impressive, it is a violation of what should be physically possible. Coiled beneath its head like two loaded springs sit a pair of raptorial appendages, biological hammers that deliver the fastest punch in the entire animal kingdom. The strike accelerates at over 10,000 times the force of gravity. To put that into perspective, a bullet fired from a .22 caliber rifle accelerates at roughly 30,000 G. The mantis shrimp, a creature that fits comfortably in the palm of your hand, reaches a third of that with nothing but muscle and biology. No gunpowder, no machinery, just evolution pushed to its absolute extreme. But speed is only the beginning. The punch is so fast, so violently quick, that it superheats the water around it, creating a phenomenon known as cavitation bubbles. When these bubbles collapse, they generate a secondary shock wave of force, a flash of light, and temperatures that momentarily rival the surface of the sun. Even if the mantis shrimp misses its target, the shock wave alone can stun or kill the prey. It doesn't just hit you, it hits you twice. This is not an exaggeration. This is measured, documented science. In 1998, researchers at the University of California, Berkeley, used high-speed cameras recording at 20,000 frames per second to capture the strike of a peacock mantis shrimp. What they found defied every expectation. The strike lasted less than 3 milliseconds. The appendage reached speeds of 23 meters per second, and the impact force measured over 1,500 newtons, roughly the same force as a professional boxer's punch, compressed into an area smaller than a fingertip. The mechanism behind this power is not muscular strength alone. The mantis shrimp uses a system of latches, springs, and saddle-shaped structures in its appendages to store elastic energy over time. then releases it all at once in a single catastrophic burst. Engineers have compared this mechanism to a crossbow, where energy is slowly loaded and then released in an instant. This biomechanical system is so efficient that it produces one of the highest power outputs relative to body mass of any animal ever recorded on this planet. Nothing else even comes close. And there are two types of mantis shrimp, and both are nightmares in their own right. Smashers, like the peacock mantis shrimp, use blunt, club-like appendages to bludgeon hard-shelled prey into oblivion. Crabs, snails, clams, anything with armor is fair game. The clubs themselves are reinforced with a layered composite structure of hydroxyapatite and chitin, a combination so durable that the clubs can withstand thousands upon thousands of high-velocity impacts without cracking. Material scientists at the University of California, Riverside discovered that the club's internal structure uses a herringbone pattern that redirects and absorbs the energy of each impact, preventing catastrophic fracture. This is not just biology. This is engineering so advanced that researchers are now studying and mimicking it for use in aerospace materials, military body armor, and even car frames. A shrimp teaching humans how to build stronger machines. Then there are the spearers. These mantis shrimp have barbed, spear-like appendages designed to impale soft-bodied prey such as fish and worms with terrifying precision. They lie in wait inside their burrows, perfectly still, invisible. And when a fish drifts too close, they strike. The entire attack, from absolute stillness to a confirmed kill, takes less than 4 milliseconds. Most fish never see it coming. Most fish never even have time to flinch. The prey is dead before its own nervous system registers danger. But to truly grasp the absurdity of the mantis shrimp, you have to look into its eyes. And when you do, you realize that this creature perceives a world that is entirely invisible to you. A world you will never be able to see, no matter how hard you try. Human beings have 3 types of color receptors in their eyes: red, green, and blue. From these 3 channels, our brains mix and interpret roughly 1 million distinct colors. The mantis shrimp has 16 types of color receptors. 16. For decades, scientists assumed this meant the mantis shrimp could see an unimaginable spectrum of color, a visual world so rich and overwhelmingly detailed that the human mind couldn't begin to comprehend it. But research published in 2014 by Dr. Justin Marshall and his team at the University of Queensland revealed something even stranger. The mantis shrimp doesn't blend colors the way we do. Instead of mixing signals from its receptors to create nuanced shades, it appears to recognize colors in broad categories, like a barcode scanner reading distinct bands of light rather than painting a portrait. This means the mantis shrimp doesn't necessarily see more colors than us in the way we think of color. It processes color differently, faster, more efficiently, sacrificing nuance for raw speed of recognition. And in a world where a predator can appear in a fraction of a second, speed of recognition matters infinitely more than the subtlety of a sunset. But it gets more unsettling. The mantis shrimp can see ultraviolet light. It can detect polarized light, both linear and circular. Circular polarization detection is almost unheard of in the animal kingdom. The mantis shrimp is one of the only creatures on Earth known to perceive it. Scientists believe this ability is used for secret communication. Mantis shrimp bodies reflect polarized light in patterns that are completely invisible to most other marine animals. They can signal to each other, advertise their strength, negotiate territorial disputes, and communicate mating readiness in a visual language that the rest of the ocean literally cannot see. Imagine being surrounded by creatures speaking in a frequency you didn't even know existed. That is what every single other animal on the reef experiences when a mantis shrimp is nearby. They are invisible broadcasters, hiding their conversations in plain sight. Each of the mantis shrimp's eyes is mounted on an independent stalk, capable of moving in all directions simultaneously and independently of each other. This gives the mantis shrimp trinocular vision in each individual eye, meaning each eye alone can gauge depth and distance without needing the other. Humans need two eyes working together for depth perception. The mantis shrimp does it with one. And while its eyes scan the environment in every direction at once, the mantis shrimp's brain is processing visual information at a speed that outpaces nearly every other animal ever studied. Researchers have found that its visual processing is so rapid that it can track and intercept prey moving at speeds that would be nothing but a blur to human eyes. The entire visual system, from the 16 color receptors to the independent eye stalks to the polarized light detection, is an engineering marvel that no human technology has been able to fully replicate. It sees the world in a way that is fundamentally alien. A reminder that perception and intelligence are not limited to the structures we understand. As strange as the mantis shrimp's weapons and vision are, its behavior is even more bewildering. For a creature armed with the deadliest punch in the ocean, the mantis shrimp is surprisingly complex in its social life. Many species are monogamous. They form pair bonds that can last for years, sharing a burrow and cooperating in the protection and raising of their young. The female carries her eggs in a mass beneath her body, carefully aerating and cleaning them for weeks until they hatch. In some species, the male brings food to the female during this vulnerable brooding period, a behavior that suggests a level of partnership and cooperation rarely seen in any crustacean. But the mantis shrimp is also fiercely, violently territorial. It will defend its burrow against intruders with lethal force. And fights between mantis shrimp are brutal, ritualized conflicts that reveal a chilling level of calculation. They begin by presenting their raptorial appendages, displaying their size and condition as a warning. If neither combatant backs down, the fight escalates. One shrimp will curl its tail forward, offering its armored telson, the hardened tailplate, as a target. The other strikes it with full force. Then they switch. Back and forth, blow after blow, each one testing the other's strength and durability. This ritualized combat serves a critical purpose. It allows both shrimp to assess their opponent's power without risking a fatal, shell-cracking injury. Because a full-force strike from a mantis shrimp can crack the exoskeleton of its own kind. These fights are not mindless aggression. They are calculated negotiations, displays of power and endurance that determine territory, mating rights, and survival. The mantis shrimp understands the cost of its own violence. It uses destruction strategically, deliberately, and only when the calculation favors it. Perhaps the most haunting detail of the mantis shrimp's existence is how little we still understand about it. There are over 450 known species, and scientists believe there are many more hiding in unexplored reefs and deep water habitats, waiting to be discovered. They have been found in nearly every tropical and subtropical ocean on the planet. From the coral reefs of Indonesia to the murky shallows of the Gulf of Mexico. Some species grow to over 38 centimeters long. Others are barely the size of a human thumb. Some live in complex burrow systems that they maintain, modify, and expand over their entire lives, which can span up to 20 years. They are ancient beyond comprehension. The fossil record shows stomatopods dating back over 400 million years, making them older than dinosaurs, older than trees, older than most complex life forms that have ever walked or swum on this planet. They have survived every major mass extinction event in Earth's history. The Ice Ages, the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, the volcanic upheavals that choked the oceans of oxygen. Whatever the planet threw at them, the mantis shrimp endured. It adapted, it evolved, and it kept punching. In aquariums, mantis shrimp are both prized and feared in equal measure. They have been known to shatter the glass walls of their tanks with a single frustrated strike. Aquarists who keep them must use specially reinforced enclosures designed to withstand repeated impacts. Stories circulate among marine hobbyists of mantis shrimp that were accidentally introduced into reef tanks, only to systematically destroy every other inhabitant over the course of weeks, picking off snails, crabs, and small fish one by one from their hidden lair in the live rock. By the time the aquarist realized what was happening, the tank was a graveyard, and the mantis shrimp was sitting in the middle of it, well-fed, utterly unbothered. But destruction is only half the story. They recognize individual human faces. They learn to associate specific people with food and with safety. They display what can only be described as genuine curiosity, approaching new objects placed in their environment and investigating them with their appendages. Tapping, prodding, exploring with a deliberate attentiveness that feels almost unsettling to watch. Some keepers report that their mantis shrimp will tap on the glass to get their attention, seemingly initiating interaction on their own terms. Others describe mantis shrimp that become visibly agitated when their usual caretaker is replaced by a stranger, suggesting they don't just recognize faces, but form preferences, expectations, perhaps even something resembling trust. Whether this constitutes true intelligence or simply extraordinarily sophisticated pattern recognition is a question science has not yet been able to answer definitively. But the behavior is undeniable. The mantis shrimp is aware of its world, responsive to it, and engaged with it in a way that most invertebrates simply are not. It does not passively exist. It watches, it learns, it remembers, and it acts on what it knows. The most chilling revelation of all, however, might be how the mantis shrimp handles its own vulnerability. Like all crustaceans, the mantis shrimp must periodically molt, shedding its hard exoskeleton to grow. During this process, the animal is soft, defenseless, and completely exposed. A creature that normally fears nothing in its environment is suddenly at the mercy of everything. And the mantis shrimp knows it. In the days leading up to a molt, many species will seal themselves inside their burrows, blocking the entrance with rubble and debris. They go into hiding, disappearing from the reef entirely, riding out their vulnerability in darkness and isolation until their new shell hardens. Some researchers have observed mantis shrimp that continue to bluff during this period, striking at intruders with their soft, newly formed appendages, even though the blows carry no real force. It is a performance, a desperate, calculated act of deception to buy time. The mantis shrimp does not accept weakness. Even when it is at its most fragile, it fights. It bluffs. It refuses to surrender. As you peer into the warm, sunlit shallows of the tropical reef, you realize the mantis shrimp is no mere crustacean hiding in the sand. It's a living contradiction. A creature that punches harder than animals 100 times its size, sees in dimensions we cannot fathom, forms lifelong bonds that challenge our assumptions about simple creatures, and communicates in a language the rest of the ocean cannot even detect. Its evolution, refined and sharpened over hundreds of millions of years, is proof that nature does not follow our rules. It writes its own. The mantis shrimp is a testament to the fact that the most extraordinary things on this planet are not always the biggest or the loudest. Sometimes they are the ones hiding just beneath the surface, coiled and waiting, ready to shatter everything you thought you knew. Its unique evolution offers a glimpse into a form of life so radically different from our own that it forces us to reconsider what is possible, not just on Earth, but wherever life might exist in the universe. The mantis shrimp reminds us that we have barely scratched the surface of understanding the world we live in. The shallows still hold countless mysteries. The deep still guards its secrets. And creatures like this one prove that the most unbelievable things are not fiction. They are real. They are alive. And they are waiting to be found. If this one changed the way you see nature, subscribe to Science Discovery and hit the bell. Every like and every share helps more people discover what most of the world still doesn't know about. The next one is coming soon.